Hi, guys. We're ready for the third episode, and the chapter is called Just Like Bailey. I wanted to be just like Bailey, and I wanted Bailey to be just like me. If he got green tennis shoes, I wanted green tennis shoes. If he could turn a somersault, I had to turn a somersault too. If I had a cupcake, he had to have half. If I got new crayons, we had to get a second box for Bailey. I do not even want to say what happened when I was supposed to go off to school the first day. Un disastro, my mother said later. As soon as my mom opened the front door that morning, I dashed across the lawn to Bailey's house. No, Rosie, my mother said. Bailey isn't coming with us. I keep going. Up the stairs, pounding on the door. Bailey, hurry up! Bailey, it's time for school! My mother coming up behind me and the door opening in front of me. Carmelita standing there, her lips pressed tightly together. Get Bailey, I say. It's time for school. Carmelita kneels in front of me. Rosie, honey, Bailey has to go to a different school. No, 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 no. I squeeze past her, run up the stairs. Bailey, 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 Bailey. I see him sitting on the floor of his room, fumbling with his shoelaces. I'll help you, Bailey. It's time for school. Me, such a little girl, acting like a mother. I kneel down. Bailey puts his face right up against mine, so close our noses are touching. He smells like toothpaste. Rosie, he says. Rosie, can I come with you? Yes, I say. Then my mother is there, lifting me up, and I am kicking and screaming, and she says, Rosie, come with me. You'll see Bailey later. I still hear myself screaming for Bailey as my mother takes me outside and puts me in the car and fastens my seatbelt and drives away. And I am screaming and crying and kicking the back of the seat. And then she pulls over by the park and gets out and takes me out of the car and carries me to the swings, where we sit for a long, long time. And when we finally did go to my school, I wouldn't let go of her hand, and I wouldn't say my name, and I wouldn't sing the songs, and I wouldn't play with the blocks or the little house, and I wouldn't drink the juice, and I wouldn't do anything because Bailey was not there. Now I am 12 years old, and when I look back on that first day of school, I am sure the teacher thought I was a very, very disturbed child. Next chapter. Put your feet up. The soup is almost done. Granny Torrelli sits down, props her feet up on a chair. Come on, she says. Sit yourself down. Put your feet up. She always does this before we eat. She says people rush too much. She likes to take a few minutes to smell the food and relax before we go rushing around gobbling it up. I wish your mom and pop were here to join us, she says. They work too much, I say. She lets a puffy sigh out of her mouth. Everybody works too much. I know it, she says. Work, work, work. Pay the bills. Work some more. You know why, don't you? Why they work, I say. To pay the bills. Granny Torrelli crosses her arms and over her chest. She is a roundish woman, soft and plump, but my mother, her daughter, is skinny. I am skinny too. They want a nice roof over your head. They want good food in your stomach. They want to get you shoes before the ones you have pinch your feet. She looks down at my feet. Are those shoes pinching you? She asks. I wiggle my toes inside my shoes. I am tempted to say yes, but I don't. No, I say. They're not pinching me. Granny wiggles her own feet. Good. Now, are you going to tell me about that Bailey? That's Granny Torrelli for you. She distracts you, getting you talking about your shoes, and then she asks questions that she really has on her mind. I think I should study exactly how she does this. It could come in handy, that skill. Oh, that Bailey, I say. That Bailey is so full of himself. Bailey, she says. You're sure you mean Bailey? Next door Bailey? Your buddy? Your pal? Or are you talking about some other Bailey I don't know? I am wanting to tell her, but I don't know where to start. I want to tell it right. Want her to be on my side. Want her to agree with me. You know that, I'm sorry, let me start over. You know how he has all that special stuff, I say? Special stuff? What kind of special stuff? You know, recorded books and braille ones and, oh, she says, that special stuff. Wait a minute. I've got to take a little pause. And she gets up and goes to the bathroom. While she is gone, I am thinking way back about the time I was showing Bailey the alphabet and he kept holding the tablet right up to his nose, but still he couldn't see the letters. And I got the idea to use fat black markers to make the letters. I printed out Bailey in tall, fat, black letters, and he held the tablet close to his face. And while he was saying B-A-I, his mother, Carmelita, came in the room and squeezed her hands on her worried cheeks and said, "Oh, Rosie, what a great idea." And then Carmelita sat heavily on a chair and shook her head. "I should have thought of that," she said. "Why didn't I think of that?" And then she looked so sad that I felt as if I maybe had done something wrong. And I thought at the time that I could teach Bailey everything I learned at school. But then maybe it was the next year or the year after Bailey got the braille things. I couldn't make any sense of those dots. He tried to show me, but I couldn't do it. Couldn't get it. He could read with his fingers. It seemed like a miracle that he was doing that with raised bumps on the page. I told my mother we had to get the braille things. "I'll check into it," she said. But she forgot about it. And when I reminded her, she said, "Rosie, I'll check into it." And time was going by, and Bailey was learning more and more, and I was feeling so left behind. And one day, he was reading to me from the Braille book, his fingers moving so softly over the page. And I grabbed the book and ripped the page. And then I told him it was an accident, that I hadn't meant to rip it. But I had meant to rip it. Plays is the next chapter. We put on plays, Bailey and me, all the time, for as long as I can remember. When we were little, the plays were about a mother and a father and a baby. The baby was usually a stuffed animal, or a sister and a brother. We made up the stories as we went along. One day, when we were doing one of the mother and father ones, maybe we were 7 then, our lines went like this: Mother, Rosie. "It's such a good day. Let's take the baby to the park." Father, Bailey. "I don't want to." Mother, "Yes, you do." Father, "Did you hear me? I said I don't want to." Mother, "Bailey, stop it. You're ruining the play." Father, "I'm not Bailey. I'm the father, and the father doesn't want to go to the park." Mother, "Why not?" Father, "I'm sick of all this responsibility." cut it out. Father, I'm not Bailey. I'm the father. Mother, well, cut it out, Father. Father, I don't have to cut it out if I don't want to. I'm leaving. And with that, Bailey, father, threw the baby, my stuffed tiger, on the floor and left the room. The next day, Bailey came with a suitcase. He was going to stay with us a few days. My mother said, I was so happy, and I thought Bailey would be happy too. But at night, he cried. And I asked him if he was crying because he couldn't see. And he said no. And he kept on crying. I asked him if he was crying because he missed his mother. And he said no. And I asked him if he was crying because he missed his father. And he said yes, and he's never coming back. He hasn't gone anywhere, Bailey, I said. You're the one who has gone away. But I was wrong. His father had gone away, and he didn't come back. I'm going to stop now, and I'll talk later. Bye.